Well, I'm going to start off actually with a poem that came out of a very quite traumatic circumstance really, that I kind of worked for a while in a prison as a writer in prison, and while I was there somebody got murdered by another prisoner. I've worked briefly with the prisoner who did the murdering, so it was quite a traumatic experience. But the reason why he was murdered is that I think this particular guy had actually kind of committed male rape, and the authorities had decided that it was quite a wise thing to put this man in a shared cell with another man. So this is called, one of the things that they say when they kind of give the kind of official explanation of these things is they use the phrase, mistakes have been made, as if they were made by some invisible being, not actually by a real human being. I'm going to have to kind of look at this very closely because my eyesight is quite tough. Mistakes have been made by no one. All the snug young men behind, locked and out of harm's. A very worrying young man. Reoffending rates down 12%. I'd watch him prowl the corridors. Is that to moralise why I avoided him? His file made my eyes spin. The bulk of him. Asked to borrow my attitude. Interpersonal exploitation. Propositioned others. No one. Doubled him up with. We now have horses locked behind stable doors. Systems in place. A very pretty young man. To ensure, they tell me, a murder at the weekend. Wagtails skittering. Could pose a threat. Lacks empathy. On his own in the block. He was always looking for. Cheer up, mate. What's the worst good? And when I was thinking of what to read, I thought of this particular poem, which is by a poet called Ossip Mandelstam. And it basically is what got Mandelstam arrested, sent to Siberia, where he died in a transit camp or something like that. Actually, nobody quite knows what happened to him. And this is a poem that got him into trouble. It's called the Stallion epigram. Our lives no longer feel ground under them. At 10 paces you can't hear our words. But whenever there's a snatch of talk, it turns to the Kremlin mountaineer. The 10 thick worms his fingers, his words like measures of weight. The huge laughing cockroaches on his top lip, the glitter of his boot rims. Ring with a scum of chicken-necked bosses, he toys with the tributes of half-men. One whistles, another meows, a third snivels. He pokes out his finger, and he alone goes boom. He forges decrees in a line like horseshoes, one for the groin, one the forehead, temple, eye. He rolls the executions on his tongue like berries. He wishes he could hug them like big friends from home. And I thought about that when I was kind of writing my poem about Pussy Riot, and Stallion gets into this partly as the Ossetian cockroach, and partly as steely, because Stallion means steel, actually. But I thought I'd write a kind of prayer because it's appropriate actually. And I also wrote what's known as a nosostic, which basically is a kind of like an acrostic, except down the middle. And I used the phrase from a kind of English poet called David Gascoigne. I used the phrase Christ of revolution and of poetry, which he uses in one of his poems, as a kind of middle phrase. It was a phrase going down the middle. Not that you'll be able to hear this, but you can see it when it's on a page. Putins Prayer. This macho bear, this hopeless son of the Ossetian cockroach, this is no more than Steely's capitalist muscle, who nails freedom to the tree of his sex. Is this the one you pray to, you dog-faithful priests? While the crucified girl rebels ululate punk vocal chords and let fly. Who put Putin in? Whose votive offerings blew incense into the people's face again and again like a fist? Holy Mary, full of grace, mother of the rebel Nazarene, pray for us now and rid us of this man. BR something of hope, so it's all written out, and set free the girls to preach their riotous gospel. Let their tongues spit guitars and truth into the beady eye of your false man.